Survival story.
Tampa, Florida.
Off the ship, straight to the courthouse. 4 days they were stranded on a crippled cruise ship with overflowing toilets, stifling heat, and lines for food that had already gone bad, they say. Several passengers are suing Carnival Cruise Lines for that trip. While the trip was certainly a nightmare, do the passengers really have a case? Joining me now is Matt Crusan, one of the passengers suing Carnival, and he's brought along his attorney, Mike Winkleman. And it's great to see you, gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, Matt, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay. My wife is still feeling sick from being on the cruise. She had food poisoning twice while she was there.
I understand how difficult this trip was. I'll save the viewers things like why it was a human petri dish, as some people have said. But if I could ask you, Mike, many attorneys say that, especially under maritime law, which is your expertise, that when you buy the cruise ticket and you sign whatever paperwork you do, you agree if there's any problem on the ship, you accept a refund and that's all you get. Why are you filing suit then?
Well, that's not what the contract says, and I'm surprised to hear a lot of lawyers say they would turn these down. Perhaps they're not as maybe as young or as hardworking as I and my firm are, but we take a lot of pride in doing the right thing for people like Matt and his wife and the thousands of people that were on that cruise that were really taken advantage of by Carnival. And sure, they're tough cases and they're unique cases, but I'm looking forward to the fight, and I think we should be able to make a positive recovery, certainly a lot better than the measly $500 that Carnival is offering to all these passengers.
Did your client accept the $500?
No, of course not. No.
Okay, you were already on the case. You advised him not to.
Well, I mean, I can't tell you what I did or didn't advise to my client, but I would advise everyone that was on that ship to not take the $500. And I would point out that the people that were on the Costa Concordia just over a year ago, even if you were uninjured, just being on that cruise ship, they offered you $14,000. So how do you go from $14,000 for 3, 4, 5 hours of sheer terror versus 5 days of a living nightmare?
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
There's even a patient's bill of rights for airlines. If they keep you on the tarmac for too many hours, they have to pay fines, and you might be able to recover. But in this particular case, just let me put my lawyer hat on, but this is not my area of expertise, maritime. You need to prove intentional negligence, especially for a recovery of emotional distress in this case. Yes or no, and how will you do that?
You're mixing concepts. There are two different theories. One is intentional infliction of emotional distress. The other is negligent infliction of emotional distress. To prove the intentionality, it would be the point of that Carnival knew what was going on. They were about 150 miles off the coast of Mexico, and instead of just turning around and go to Mexico, they intentionally decided to drag them across the Gulf of Mexico about 500 miles because it was more beneficial for them. Why didn't they take them to Galveston, Texas, which is where the cruise started? Why did they force them to be on the ship for 5 days and then right after that be in a bus for 7 hours? So that would be the intentional part of it. Negligence is not, there's not the same science or knowingness requirement, but they're distinct concepts under the law, and the suit that was about to be filed will seek damages for both of those remedies.
Right, I understand you're going to try to certify your client and others as a class and bring a class action. Right. But let me ask you, Matt, at this point, when you were on that ship, and I'm sure, Mike, that the cruise line will bring this up in defense, did you feel that they were doing everything they could to try to help you get through this?
We try to do as much as we could to manage through it. You know, the two things that really concern me are the unrefrigerated food that they were serving, which my wife got food poisoning twice for. The lobster, like I said before, they served, it was decayed. I didn't eat it. As soon as they served it to me, I just left it on the plate, but I saw plenty of other people eating it because that's the only thing they had. And then when we were down into the medical area, the conditions down there weren't very sanitary as well. That's something that hasn't been mentioned before.
All right, interesting.
Not using gloves, not using gloves to do IVs. I saw a blood stain on a clean sheet that shouldn't have been there. Clearly,
yeah, I understand. And I understand your wife needed 2 IVs for hydration, and the situation was definitely horrible. The question is whether or not it's actionable and you can recover. Your lawyer seems to have everything under control. We're going to follow the case. Mike and Matt, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
There'll be more of these.
Yeah, 4,229 on board.
For a long time.
A few more. There was growing concern.